every teacher is going to be observed twice during the year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And this matrix of dates is going to be complicated. Every teacher will not be held to presenting this lesson. They're going to be presenting a 5E lesson now that they know how to do it. And it might be this lesson, it might be another one.
So you're talking about every teacher in the program, but not necessarily doing the same. Like if I'm in a group with Rachel, we're not necessarily doing the same lesson.
That's right.
Okay.
But we could.
We're looking for the methodology.
We're looking
the
for the
methodology of a
methodology.
5E lesson.
So-
And it's hard to see all of that in just, the quick thing, but it's the idea of, what changes are happening in your classroom to really incorporate, phenomena, the 5E.
So every teacher is going to get personalized mentoring and observation for really a nice deep session in the fall and the spring. The PLC meetings are going to be teachers coming together after they have taught their lesson, and it may not be the same lesson. And they're going to bring student work. They're going to ask their team, what I really would like help with is listen to my second E, my explore, and can you give me some help as critical friends on this? So the PLC meetings are going to be more collaborative inquiry.
Is there like an agenda for those PLCs?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a little taster of what we're having a conversation what this is going to be. But tomorrow, Melanie, Bobby, and myself are going to go over the year timeline. So each of you guys have an idea of what's going to happen because there are meeting dates in September, 2 days in January, and then like a last one in May where we're all going to get together. And then there are specific PLC days with just GS1, just GS2, just biology, just chemistry, three times over the course of the year where you just get to focus on what you guys need. And then there's the observational pieces which will happen each teacher twice over the course of the year. So there's a lot of different things and we will break it down more tomorrow. Now, I know we all have to get back, but I wanted to say a few things. One, in terms of what's going to happen for the next 2 days. After this, we will have the next hour and a half for you guys to continue working with your groups. Then we come back here from 2:30 to 3. At 3 o'clock, if you know that you have people who were absent the first 3 days and did not take the pre-test, can you please remind them to stay after so they can take the pre-test?
Back in the library.
Yes, back in the library. Tomorrow, along with going over this, we're also going to do some announcements, but you're going to have another 3 hours just to plan with your groups. And as Melanie said, after lunch is when you guys are going to do your example, your demonstration, where you guys can go over what you guys learned. But within the 3 hour time, I want you guys to keep it in your mind that you guys are going to be finishing up your lesson as best as you can. And a lot of your groups have multiple groups. So you will have to take the time to come back together to really have an understanding of what everybody's worked on. And then most importantly, upload everything into the Google Docs if you have not already. Because one of the biggest things that Rachel mentioned was, how can we share this? We cannot just keep it in this group. It has to be something that everybody should be able to access eventually. So kind of keep that in your timeline as you plan for the next 2 days. Now, the other thing that I want to bring up is people are asking, can I buy this? Can I buy this? Can I buy this? And I want to kind of give you guys clarification of how you guys are going to be purchasing things. All the purchasing ultimately, by the end of tomorrow, we would love a list of what equipment, what devices, what things you are going to need to implement your lessons. Okay? Because whatever we buy, we are also going to have to do a train-the-trainer model where you guys are going to have to train your group how to use the materials. And after we train the group how to use the materials, then that's when we could start having it be used by all the different teachers. Does that make sense? So if you wanted to get, I know you were interested in Vernier, if you wanted the Vernier equipment, we're going to have to come up with a training for the September meeting where you can make sure all the teachers in your group, or all the teachers are interested, can learn how to use it and train other people how to use it. And that's when we will be able to use that equipment for the rest of the year. Yes?
It might be a good idea to also just get sort of a list of skill set, because I know that there are a lot of us that have Vernier and use it already, and so they already could share. And I know you guys are talking 3D printing, and I know like I do 3D printing, Lauren does 3D printing. So you have some people here that are already experts or somewhat experts in some of those things that you might not even have to spend so much time training the trainers, just putting the right person with the right person.
Tony, we'll be done with that unit in September.
Okay, so we'll have to.
The first unit up.
We'll have to figure some of those things out. So we might have to do some.
There's enough of us that use
We'll
Vernier.
talk separately.
Super easy to
But that's what I want you guys to think about. We want to make sure that if you guys have equipment that you need for implementation, this grant, one of the purposes is to make sure we have this equipment. And we want to make sure that we buy the equipment for the first semester by the September training so that we can train people to use it and then you guys have it available for yes.
Sorry, just real quick. So the equipment, is it going to be the teachers or is it going to be the districts? And
That's
how
actually
does
something
that
I
work?
want to talk to you and also Darcy more closely
Okay.
to find out how you guys work out with your bio board. Because we want to make sure that one, we buy it and it's easily accessible for whoever wants to use it. Whether it be having it at a different school site, that school site will be using it and be loaned out to teachers that request it, or if it's going to be essentially located. I want to find out what you guys do, because whatever you guys have done works from average, and we want to make it simple and easy, so everybody that wants to use it can use it. Does that make sense? So, yes.
This goes back to the Google Drive. I did get a chance to. Are we putting it in like the SUHSD 1617 physics folder, or are we putting it in the grant folder?
Melanie?
In the grant folder.
In the grant folder.
In the grant folder.
Okay,
Yes.
so we've been working in the wrong folder.
Yes.
Everything's in Google Drive, just in the wrong folder.
For these materials for our labs, what kind of information are you going to need to do it, or justification in the grant in terms of expenditures and all that? Like, how do we?
Here's what I would need, and I'll come up with a form to give to you guys tomorrow. It would essentially be what the item is, the cost, the number requested, and the where to buy it, and maybe like a quick little justification of
What
how
it
it's
is.
going to be used. And I'll make that simple and easy for you guys to have. And when we look over this, I don't want you guys to be caught down by cost
That's
right
actually a
now.
good question.
I want you to think about what would help you enhance your curriculum.
Is this another question? Do we need to use a vendor-approved list through the district, or is it
It would
something?
be easier, but we will find a way.
Okay.
It's easy. I mean, it's
Because it might be like
There's ways to get vendors approved.
Okay.
yeah.
Because the teachers were asking me that specifically. I'm like, I
We
don't
can't ever
know.
use Amazon. Yes. I will say if there's ways to get as many 2 class sets as possible, that's kind of what we're looking at. But we're looking at the requests first, and then
look
we
at
want to make sure we
totals.
maximize it for all the requests. I don't think that's unreasonable, but we have to look at all the requests. Right, Bobby? Was that accurate? But if we can get 2 class sets of everything, I think that's a good win, because that means we can have school sites. If we have to do more than that, that would work. If we have to scale down, we can scale down. But I want you to think of what you guys need. Okay, good?
There's 5. There's 6 chemistry teachers at my school site.
You guys good?
And 2.
Yeah. So it will give them the chance to read about atoms.
But I want more. I don't want it to take like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. So if we give them that question, the kids, that's what they're gonna search.
And then
What is the molecular of water? Molecular structure. What is water made of? What is a molecule? What is an atom? What is the molecular structure of water? What is the structure of an atom? What are the parts of an atom?
And then the bonus question: how are atoms and molecules related?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want them to produce on their own. That's not direct questions. rather to like, okay, so after you learn all this, can you explain what a water molecule, or can you explain water using the word molecule? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want him to like.
I think that should be part of the drawing.
This is what I want. I want him to say like, oh, water is a molecule because it's made of 2 different types of atoms.
Why don't we do when you post the questions, make it like bold or underline it, and then you present the last question as they extend using the underlined words. Explain.
Okay. Or
So-
try to make a paragraph with the underlined words.
What you're really asking them is what's the difference between an atom and a molecule.
Right, but I don't want it so concrete like that. I want it in an explanation form.
So then that's
Using water.
so then that is your.
How do you go from atoms to molecules?
Right, and then using water as the example. But I don't want to do too much instruction. I want to just make sure that this is actually conceptualizing that.
So I think if this is the questions for the review, right? And then they're drawing their picture of their water molecule or an atom, right? What did we say they were drawing a picture of?
They're drawing a picture of what water may look like when it's frozen. And what
They're
water
drawing
may
a
look
model.
like.
No, not frozen yet. They're drawing a model of water, right? So based on the research, they're drawing a model of water.
Okay, hold on.
So
we
then-
add that at the bottom then, right? Based
No.
on your research?
Oh yeah, yeah, we will. But before we do that, so then what if flash forward, like, because the summative assessment is the explain everything project. But what if the quiz, or we have a quiz, and the quiz is explain the difference between an atom and a molecule using water as your example,
They're applying.
right? That gets to what you want.
Yeah.
Atom and a molecule. Using water as an example, but it doesn't go on this sheet, right? That's a quiz.
Huh?
It doesn't go on this sheet.
Well, it
Unless
can be
you
the
wanted
assessment. It can be the assessment.
That's
It's
that's
an
what I'm
informal assessment.
Are we gonna
Yeah.
do that after they present their work?
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
before?
After the
Adds energy.
So maybe for the directions for this info, the directions should be something
What
like
are the sources of energy?
using what you've learned about
What happens when you have a certain amount of energy?
using what you've learned about appropriate
You
energy.
have the phase change.
we
It's
learn
different for each substance.
And then what's it doing when it's solid, liquid, and
Some of them might be
gas?
doing it
What
right,
its
some of them
properties,
might
but
be
I think that's separate from thermal energy.
Because then you've already let them know on the log path.
That's 10 minutes of them doing
That's
it.
that
It
answer
says
change?
it predicts
Could be 10 minutes.
changes in particle motion, temperature, and state of your substance.
So, I mean, we'll have already in a previous
I think it
lesson,
does.
as
Well,
part of the
yeah,
first
so,
couple of
yeah.
weeks, the nature of science, it talks about what good research is. But so that's
It's
why
not
just a
saying
reminder.
properties.
Using what you've learned.
Yeah,
Research these questions
properties
up
as in
and
properties
then,
of
you
matter,
know, also
properties
remember
of
our
solid,
rules about
of
plagiarism or
Right,
whatever.
that's
just the molecular motion.
right, right. And I think that's what we really need to focus on. So,
Do you give them a minimum of sources they have to use? Or is it open?
I don't know, what do you think? More than one, at least more than one, right? If they're starting, so two's probably good.
Yeah. We know it.
So question, answer, and signature.
Question, answer, say, yeah.
Okay. So after part A, which is research, comes part B, which is their
Which for them is they are drawing a model of water.
no way to either mark it, or can you actually cut and paste through website?
about proper.
It's lesson 2.2.
Of impacts, and they're doing the engineering project of
And then go on the video takes a
creating
long
some kind of
time.
reflector to protect the,
That's
and another meteor shower hitting the rovers in
how
our
much?
Mars.
120 minutes?
So,
Longer.
but see, I like this idea of being able to focus in on, I'm not sure about energy yet, but I definitely know force and net force, Newton's laws.
You gotta do projects.
You gotta do
sometimes I don't like to give them a whole
Oh, yeah.
lot because they're like wait around, and then they're like, oh my god! And you're like, so I usually give
And you
them
also
like an
want to
hour
release
for
that. I
doing
mean,
a
if you
project like
care to
that. We'll
interview
do something else. So probably 3 is about what you
They spend half a week doing calculations, doing stuff.
I mean, we could even tell them to put it anywhere they want, because they can talk about that environment being destroyed. I know we want to focus on San Diego, but if we do that, the same kids would say, what can be destroyed here, versus if you say you put it, I know, isn't that crazy? She's like, you're doing what? I know. Well, my friend was a and I'm like, wow, are you trying to say something to me? She's like,
But it makes sense. Like, this is a completely different subject. Sorry, or even my train is going on. I like tangents. No, but just there's a musician who I like, and you kind of like reminded me. I've seen her live before. You kind of remind me of her.
My kids always tell me that I remind them of Melanie. So one of my kids years ago, she was working during events and something to remind me of like, except that she's a freshwater. You're a lonely nose. Nobody likes it. The rest of my ASD kids were like, we love you, we do. We kind of have self-esteem. She and I are, she has a word there's a lot of stuff involved. Although I guess she put it on her. But I did want to talk. Yeah. Well, I saw her open for somebody, but I loved her. So like, I remember the opening act was in my head, right? And so like, she was when I saw her, and I've never seen her instead of in a poster. You don't have to do it. But I haven't looked at it. Break it down to one person. So helpful. I have to go oh yeah, he always was like, okay, you know, we can cut in. I want to get things out.
Not bad.
Right? Yeah. Because he does.
I try a little bit because some people will say like, okay, so if water is 70 degrees temperature, why is it?
He teaches the way it's
so what? Then you talk about in this setting,
he has
so I'll introduce you to a but on that bell curve, there are a few of those molecules at any given moment that have enough energy to break free of the rest of those molecules, go flying off the atmosphere.
I don't do a good job of that.
See, and that's important here because that's
You're not actually ever boiling the water.
Of course, we're all teachers. Teachers love
you're going to wonder why
glad you're going to go
I don't know.
You know what? I was
Right.
referring to
So that's
I was
so how
like,
the face change the face change the matter.
It's off the
So
face of
basically,
district office.
all
No,
that
I was doing
has
parent
something
stuff, all the
to do
parent
with
stuff,
all of it.
and then now I'm
Face
stuck at
changes.
science with the
Well, you can see
curriculum.
the
So
temperature
this
is
is my first grade. Yeah.
average temperature.
Great idea.
Back somebody.
It's not actually, it's not right, it's not a measurement of the actual. It also has convoluted in there. It's a
operates. I don't know about the metal. I mean, they do have metal, but it's not copper. Actually, I might have some at home.
All right, we'll do it.
I'm working on. Have somebody fixing cars these days in the summer. I have so much stuff.
Okay, so since we have this one done, granted, we're going to test it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
What can we move on to at least have a start?
I'm in physics.
For tomorrow.
Thinking about the quiz. Did you look at this web quest that he wrote?
Is this the only one I heard?
If we could write it as a 5D lesson plan or not.
All right, I'm going to go see what GS2 folks are doing because I know they've got some astronomy in there. I can try to send Ken back your way. He's not too busy.
Yeah, if he gets here, we'll talk about
Oh, for the earthquake?
He's the geology guy.
Why do we have two?
That's fun stuff too. You can do physics to that too.
Oh, for the, yeah.
Fun stuff.
High school, just over there.
Present it. Hands on. So tomorrow we'll go to the classrooms and we'll do it. Probably get an elevator key too. Actually, I take it back. The lady next door to me has an elevator key, so I'm sure to get it from her. There's water.
Pete, what are you working on over there?
Trying to upload this stupid web quest. Actually, it's a beautiful web quest, but it's a stupid process.
So you're looking at the web quest for the...
I have Ace Assistant.
What do you think of this standard? This non-conservative copyright set for the standard is as concepts being as well as legal definitions is not discussed in the standards, but is needed in order to understand acceleration.
And so that's your footnote, and then you put an asterisk. I would say.
Oh, after that instead of at the end of it.
Now, this one only changed it 4 degrees, but it's half the price. So, you know, you have to weigh the cost benefits to the heating or the energy transfer benefits. And then after that, let's see, so that discussion. And then the next part was next steps. Towards the end of the next step, was analysis, brainstorming how. There's a couple ways you could do this. You either have 8 hot plates going, or you have
it ahead of time.
Ahead of time. Yeah. And with the hot plates, just make sure you watch it for evaporation on those. I would probably.
How much water, and I don't know if you guys specified how much water you want the students to, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Because they're going to ask questions like that.
Oh, no. I
don't see a procedure. I know it's kind of like, you know, I'm throwing out ideas, but, you know, that's the only thing I'm kind of curious
the
about.
experimental variables, because
the
depth of the water is going to determine how much of the metal is covered by
water. So those are factors that
Yeah,
you're going to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I'm looking at. It seems like a great idea. I'm just thinking.
It might be easier to have them do the setup. So you get your beaker A, beaker B. You put the cold water from the tap, 100 milliliters, beaker B, and then I come around with my carafe of boiling water, and I put 100 milliliters in. I just pour 100 milliliters in there. You got the temperature, it's all set. We got the right height. Don't have to worry about it boiling away. Sure. Changing the experiment.
And then making sure that the metals that touch the hot plate at the bottom of the.
Yeah. And so then you have to worry about hot plates. You just have to have source of water, which I have.
I use a.
I think that's good about doing the experiment ahead of time, where you can answer these questions and actually it gets better as you do it.
Do you have different shapes of dimensions of beakers for tomorrow?
Yeah, I have like 3 to 4 dimensions. At least 4.
Styrofoam cup would be preferable because you're not going to just tell the
Seems like a styrofoam bag. Because if you're using plastic.
Hey guys, do we have everybody here? Are we missing anybody? Maybe. But I think most of us are here. So, I'm hesitant to say this, but welcome back to the school year, right? No, just kidding. No. This is more of a vacation because you guys have had a lot of time today, and you also have a lot of time tomorrow to just continue doing this, hanging out with friends. All right? Now, so I want to kind of go over what the next steps are, because as you saw, today was just about working together, developing your plans, getting some ideas flowing, and just getting down to what's important, which is the curriculum. Really starting planning. So tomorrow, we are going to continue doing that. The first hour, we're just going to have a few announcements and explain what is going to happen over the course of this year. Because we cannot just leave it with the summer and be like, all right, now you have all your work done, see you next year. No, we're not going to do that. There are supports, there are activities, there are things that we're going to do over the school year to keep this fire going, to keep this collaboration going. So we're going to literally just kind of go day by day. Here's the things that you should know to keep you guys in the loop. Also, you have about 3 hours to continue planning, which is great. And then you may have heard, after lunch, you guys are going to have the opportunity to share with each other some of the great plans that you are doing. And as entertaining as you could be, great, as informative you could be, great. We're going to kind of share out some of the things that you've been working on the last hour and a half. Is that good? Any questions so far? So what I wanted to, there was a lot of questions about stipends, purchasing, and at the end I want to make sure that there is an opportunity just to kind of have you all share some of your experiences, bring some closure. But I wanted to explain how the stipends are working. So I don't know if you guys remember, or I don't know if it was sent out to you, but when you guys signed up for the grant, we wrote this into the grant, and I'll just read it. Participants must commit to 60 hours of intensive professional development and 26 hours of classroom follow-up, and will be paid $3,355 stipend or $39.02 per hour. Stipends will be paid in 2 installments after the summer intensive professional development and after the last classroom follow-up sessions. Okay, so here's something that's really cool. This hourly stipend, it was $39.02 last year, and now as teachers, the hourly stipend is about $42 an hour. 42, I have the specific amount. So $42.94, yay, a little bit more money. And the way you actually get that money is you guys have these payroll forms. You guys got this as part of your packet on the way in. But I'm going to need these from you tomorrow. We had 5 days of summer training. So what you would have to do is write in the dates that you were here and the hours you were here. If you're not sure what days you were here, I actually have it in a spreadsheet on the back where the attendance was. And you could actually see what days you were actually here. You just put in those days. You put in professional development, description of service completed. You could do working on curriculum. And number of students, don't worry about that. Just put the hours, which I believe is 7 hours. Does that make sense? So the days that you were here, you guys could put in your hours for. So, you guys good? You guys happy? Okay. And so as we go throughout the rest of the year, you guys will keep this sheet. You will keep a record of the days you come in. You can turn in those hours. Good. So the next thing that you guys had was what happens if I miss the day? Now, I don't know if you've seen Hugo Martinez here. Hugo has been videotaping everything. So he's been in your classes here, and he's been getting a video record of everything. And instead of having a huge 7-hour-long video, which would be very, very daunting to actually watch, he distilled it down to about 45 minutes per video. Now, I know there are going to be times where people are going to miss parts of this. That happens sometimes. But to be fully part of the grant, each day had a few key lessons that Hugo is putting it down into a video each day for 45 minutes-ish. And what we're going to ask you to do, and I'll give you more information about this probably over email next week, is to watch that video so you see the parts that you missed. Like if you were not here the first 3 days and you hear all this talk about this phenomenon, or is it phenomenon? Is it phenomenon? Phenomenon? Okay, phenomenon, because there's a way to say plural or something. So, phenomena, then you can see what you missed. And then I'll have something that you can do afterwards to demonstrate that you've actually seen it. Make sense? So that's that. And, oh, here's another thing. Purchasing. Now, you guys are all coming up with some great ideas. And there were some questions. What can we purchase? What can we do? And here's what we talked about this with your leads. And what I want to kind of summarize it as easy as we can is, if there is something that fits in with your curriculum that you need equipment-wise, okay? What we need you guys to do is make sure that you talk in your groups, figure out what you need. We need the cost, how many of these things, and what lab is going to be used for, what activities it's going to be used for. And I'm going to come up with a basic sheet that you guys could fill out. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do by tomorrow before you leave is to submit these forms, because we need to figure out and be able to tell you what things we're going to be able to get. Because our goal is to get a big purchase done and in before our next train, which is going to be in September. Because in September, that's when we're going to be able to do the train for that equipment, so that you guys can use it throughout the school year, and we'll make sure that you guys have the availability to use it. You guys good? All right. Now, Miss Melanie, do you have any other updates?
You know what? Right at this time, they're not in, tomorrow we're going to have a few things. So super cool. So I introduced you guys to the lady that was here just a minute ago. She was with the California Science Project, and they have California Science Projects all over the state. And so she has heard me talk about Sweetwater, how great Sweetwater is, and they have money for grants. And they're always looking for great leaders. So she's down here looking to see what we're doing, and there's funding for different types of things. And I know Joan has done something. I think, Joan, is that right? Joan has done something, and so has Gina, and so has Lauren. We've done some grants with the Navy. So there's so many things, you guys, that one grant like this can open the doors. And, you know, people are talking about us, what we're doing down here, and how far ahead, I know you keep hearing that all the time, how far ahead we are, and how some of we bundled stuff a long time ago. And we're just putting it together. Now it's like a thing, bundling. We did that like years ago. We bundled. We didn't call it bundling, but we did it already. So, kind of interesting. So, you may have some guests coming in and out of some of our grant meetings that we've invited from the community. And that's important too, is because part of this grant, and Tony and I have talked about this, is community. As we're here, we're community with our Southwestern College, with USD. Now UCSD wants to get in on the action too. So, you know, we have tons of community members, and it's really nice, because sometimes I feel, and I know you guys feel the same way, that sometimes we're forgotten about. That we get forgotten about. You know, like, we're great, we're down here, but, you know, we're forgotten. But we're not going to be forgotten anymore. We are in the action. We are getting some activity. Science is getting on the radar, and so it's important. And we're really happy to have people who are very excited to see what we're doing here. So that was really nice that she came down to see what we're doing. Very, very impressed with you guys, what you're doing. I guess Tony covered everything really well. Money. Money's always good.
Turn in the money stuff tomorrow.
That's good.
And I guess two more things. One is this is a time for just some questions and roundtable. I want to make sure if you guys had any questions or concerns that we could just talk about right now, or just some great shout outs of things that you learned today. Does anybody have anything to share? Any questions that they want to ask? Any positive moments? As everybody's looking at. Okay. Yes? Well, I will share. I think I alluded to the fact that last year I was not in this district. Last year there was an opportunity to work over at a school that was in a different district, 7 minutes away from my house as a vice principal. I was like, sweet, right by my house. This is gonna be great. And it was an amazing experience. I was over at Scripture Ranch High School, one of the best schools out there. I learned so much. But something that you learn when you move to a different district is not all districts have as much of a family support as Sweetwater, and not all districts have upper administrators that are really encouraging teachers to plan and to move forward and to innovate and collaborate. It just does not happen everywhere. And when I saw this grant posted and I realized that everybody in this room has the ability to really motivate and do a really big change in this district. It's really positive, and I'm really excited to be part of it. So shout out to all you guys. Thank you for all that you guys are doing. Thank you for all that you guys are going to continue to do and share. I'm really excited. Okay? Now, tomorrow, same time, 8 to 3. Now, if you were not here all 3 days at the beginning of the year, you probably missed this. This was a pre-test that is a requirement for all the participants in the grant. So if you were not here, we definitely need you to do this in order to qualify for all our grant funds. So if you guys were not here, we need you to stay. And other than that, I'm just going to ask you guys to clean up, push everything in. And I want to say thank you very much. But Melanie, anything else? You good?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
There are a few folks, I've been trying to get into our stuff back here, and there are a few folks that need one of these, and I've been trying to dig, and I don't know where they are.
I dug some out.
I told you I better grab them.
Oh, and if I can get some more tomorrow, so I'll get some more tomorrow, and I can make some copies.
And just, you guys make sure, I think everybody has a folder. Make sure you guys have a folder.
Hold on, guys, one last thing.
Bringing your folder with you, keep everything in it. Everything is up on canvas, but it will be, it's going to have a hard copy. Who did not take the pre-test and the tech survey needs to stay, please? Either today or tomorrow to take that. Sign out.
And don't forget to sign out. The paperwork's right back there. And guys, thank you for all you do. If you have to take the survey, stay right here. We'll give it right to you.
Want to get the